Welcome back to the channel. So, just came back from Truckfest Northwest and I knew I had a broken shock mount now. Took the bolts out of it here. It's got a crack that runs down there. Going around the truck, checking all the other shock mounts, going round it, and then we come down to here. We've broken the chassis, so that's an insert in there from where it's been repaired before. So it's got a big insert that goes through here, but it actually hasn't broke through a weld. It's literally just ripped it through the tube. Now, where it's done that, it's let the engine twist and it's sheared off the bolts that hold the engine in there. So now I've got to fix the chassis, swap the engine, and then still make it so I'm going to make it so it uses a lot more bolts, but that explains why it broke that. But also I want to put the Monster Jam power steering on it. So we've got a lot of work on this week. So as you can see, I've stripped most of the back out the truck. So the only thing really left in it is the rear steering motor and a little bit of wiring down there. That'll all be coming out tomorrow. I wanted to get the fuel tank out, all the fuel lines, the radiator, the fuel pump, and everything to do with fuel and water out today, so then I can rinse. You can see down there I've put loads of water down to rinse everything off. My face is probably dirty, I hadn't even looked. Yeah, because on my truck I run a lot of antifreeze, and the antifreeze is actually flammable. Methanol's flammable, and I just don't want anything flammable when I start to go and cut this thing out. So I'm going to come back in the morning. I've only been on it probably about just over 2 hours to get all this out, so it hasn't been too bad. Yeah, so I'm going to lift the engine out tomorrow and then work out where it's bent. So I think that bit's straight here. You can definitely see that goes up here. It's done that, and it's actually I'm pretty sure it's put a bend in there. So I'm going to have to cut this as well through here and then put some new pieces in. But I've got to try and get it straight first. I think once I've cut a few of these tubes out here, like cut that one out, cut all this out, I reckon it will want to come back down because there's quite a bit of leverage in there. But I'll find that out tomorrow. So it's the next day. Georgina's in with me. Hello, Georgina.
Hello.
Yeah, so Georgina did the video from fixing the steering, so
Got to fix it again then.
we got to fix it again. So yeah, so Georgina's taken the last little bits out the back. So now we're getting on to taking the engine out. So I've only got a couple of, I think this is the last bolt now.
Meow.
Right, so that's that side off.
It looks empty without the exhaust on it now, doesn't it?
Yeah. So all we got to do next, we've got to take the restraints off. I'm out of breath already. Take the restraints off. They pull out like that. So they got a little pin there.
Yep. Stops the supercharger flying away.
Yeah, actually I'll take the pins out.
If you have a backfire.
Yeah. So then that is that off. Then I'm going to take all these bolts out. Sorry, all the nuts off. Eight nuts off. And then
Also got to disconnect it from the gearbox, or have you done that already?
no, it's still connected. So the torque converter's disconnected.
Oh, is it?
So all that's connected really in there is the bolts that hold the back of it on. So
Okay.
I've got to lift the top of it off first.
Did you explain what you're thinking of cutting out to replace the crack?
No, it's all right. So I'm probably going to have to cut it through there. So I've got to cut this bracket off, cut a lot of this off here. Going to have to cut that one there. Probably this one there.
That's going to be tricky because then you have to get through that as well.
Yeah, I've got to notch that out again.
Yep.
This one's probably going to have to come out completely. That one's going to come out completely. And then this one through here somewhere. And hopefully it all lines up. Once I've cut all of that out, I should be able to get it in to the right.
Was that Cardiff when it went wrong?
Yeah, so 12 years ago I cracked it through here. Yeah. So I know that slug, I'm pretty sure it cracked it through there, right where that is, because that's why it I've twisted the engine before.
Yeah.
So when you do a repair, it has to go at least 3 inches past where the repair is. So the end of the slug, you can just see the end of the slug there.
Yeah.
So now if that slug was a bit longer, it'd have probably been really, really good.
Yeah. Now you know for next time.
Well, no, it's going to have a big slug in it now.
Yeah.
So normally we have this chassis on the ground, but because I've got to do so much welding, I don't want to keep lifting it up and down. That's quite heavy, that bit. So you thought it's heavy now?
No,
yeah?
Not, well, I've got the light bit. It's not really heavy for me.
To me, to you.
Where are you going?
Hey you, what's that sound? Feels like thunder is shaking the ground. With teeth so white and body chrome green. It's a supercharged big block machine. Boom, 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 let me hear you sing. Swampthing, swampthing, yeah, swampthing. Swampthing, swampthing.
Back in the centre again.
Back in the centre, so levelled the truck out with my leveller.
Ah, yeah.
Put it up on here.
It should be sort of the same,
Yeah,
which it basically is.
which it basically is. But remember, it's got burrs and stuff on here as well.
Yeah.
So that is, and it looks good. There is no gap now, is there?
No. It's crazy how much has to come out. Oh, how much has to come out to actually make it straight again. Like you can see, if you look through the other side, that's how much is missing compared to what's on the other side.
So I've got to probably take this whole radiator mount out. That's going to have to come back in because I'm going to have to put new bars in here. So I cleaned up most of the tubes. So I've cleaned up all these 3 here. On this one where that diagonal goes, this diagonal goes, I've taken off everything on there. So we can get a nice new tube from here up to here before we go up to this. So next one I'm going to tackle is this one. So I've got to remove all of this tube all the way up and around, which is going to take a little bit of a while. Chopped out the bottom ones. I've still got to clean up the bottom of this one here. I might even change this whole tube yet. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, we've had to take out the radiator support. So I've had to cut this one. So I've got to put a new tube in that side as well, because that's the only way to get the radiator support out, to get in here to fix all of this.
Now we got these 2 new bars just taped in place and they're almost level, so we've just got to do some more rejigging to make it perfectly straight, but you can see the bits that we cut out quite clearly now. We just got also, I'm not sure what Dad's doing with this bit yet. I think he may be just cutting it completely and making a brand new one. And then also we've got to eventually tackle this bar that comes to about there somewhere. Okay, so we're back to lining up again. We've got this big ratchet strap.
Yeah.
That is pulling the back of the chassis.
So this isn't how they're fitting. You have to do a little bit more sanding on it to get it in there.
Yeah.
And then I can have a look down the length of it then.
But also when we do put this in for real, we're having a big little slug that goes
Yeah, yeah. And also it'd be a
Yeah.
lot shorter than this because
Yeah.
I need a nice bit to weld round.
Yeah.
Looking at the bar the other side, it lines up with the other bar.
Yeah,
because what it was doing before, it was slightly going uphill here, so it was just a few millimetres higher. Just by pulling it down on the ratchet strap, we've actually put the
Twisted,
chassis
yeah.
back to where it wants to be,
Yeah.
because all of this has gone up.
Yeah. And that's what bent the motor. Have you showed the motor plate?
Oh no,
Yeah, because it's all sorts out of whack, isn't it?
yeah, everything's bent.
Yeah. This is what ripped the bit of the engine off, which I filmed a little bit yesterday.
So look, it's twisted all of this.
Yeah, you can see that. That's supposed to be flat on the table.
So I need to get another one of these. I've got to find somewhere where I can get it, and I need it now.
You need it yesterday.
So this is one I borrowed off my friend just to mock things up, but it isn't big enough. So what we're using at the moment, so we was just using these 4 bolt holes. Now on this one you can actually use the water pump, so it'd have twice as many bolts going through. And what I'm thinking is if I can get this made out of aluminium, if it happens again, hopefully it breaks the plate rather than the engine.
Yeah, that's what we want, isn't it?
Yeah. Just had this come back. So this is one of a crank out of one of my tank engines.
It's massive, isn't it?
If somebody wants a really nice crank for aluminium rods, hit me up, because I can't use this on the tank because it hasn't got enough weight in it for the aluminium. I'm using steel H-beam rods because they can last longer, but that's set up for alley rods. So I've got that nice crankshaft up for sale. So I'm here at Hauser Race Cars, and I've come up here to get the motor plates. So these are what we're going to be putting in the monster truck now. So they're aluminium. So the idea with that is if we do break the chassis again, hopefully it takes it in the motor plate instead of ripping the end of the engine off. So thank you guys for helping us out. Right, so what we was talking about, inserts. So this is the insert that goes in. So when we put the tube back in, inside the tube is going to be this, and we're going to have to slide both of these, one that way and one that way.
Just bridges the gap.
It bridges the gap. So then what we do here is through here we'd have holes drilled into it so we can weld straight into the end of the slug. It'd have a gap in between, so it'd have a gap here between the 2 tubes, and then we can weld round all the way around, and then we can actually buzz that weld back round so you won't see the join, and also the same on them. It just makes it a lot stronger, and also it helps to line everything up, because this is a
Perfect fit.
really good fit. If you hear, look, if you hear you can hear the air come out of it. You ready?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. But yeah, so what we have to do is have to either weld a piece of wire onto here so we can actually pull this thing through and it comes out of here, or we put little holes in there and then we push them back through. So this is my junk bench.
At the minute, yeah.
Everything gets dumped on it. This is my main working bench. But so yeah, so this is what I make the slugs from. So this is a broken outer half shaft or outer axle if you're American. So on this one, it's broke the splines on the end of it. So I'm going to chop that piece off, and that is perfect for fitting inside the chassis. So we don't just throw them away, we reuse them. So when we break a half shaft, we keep them all in stock for if we have to do a chassis repair.
Recycling, saving the environment.
Greta will be happy.
Yeah.
You can probably see there's a lot of sparks coming off, and that is why I wear this leather apron. Otherwise, you end up setting yourself on fire. Also, when that bit fills off, it's quite heavy, it's quite hot, but they might look like trainers, they're not.
No!
He's broke the dustpan!
That was our best dustpan.
Was.
Yeah, well, aw.
It's all right. Hot glue will fix everything. All right, let's see if that fits in. Yeah.
Nice.
Perfect.
Perfect, right. Let's start getting, I've just got to shorten that tube now a little bit long. Shorten that tube a little bit longer.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, if I can do that, I should be a magician.
Sometimes my genius is, it's almost frightening.
Shorten that tube a little shorter.
Yeah. So now we've got a nice gap either end of it to weld up. So what we're going to do now is just put a chamfer on this and a chamfer on that so we can get a bit more weld on it. So now what we're going to do is fit the tube. So what I've done is I've drilled holes in it so we can weld through onto the slugs. The chassis is all done, but the thing we got to do is get the inserts slid into it. So what we got the slug, that goes inside the tube. Then we have to feed this through that little hole up here and then pull that
Into
place like so on both ends.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No.
So I don't know how we're going to film this because you're going to have to help hold it.
I think what I'll do is I'll set up a tripod.
Okay.
Okay, tripod is on. Oh, you almost there, up a bit. There we go.
All right. All right, let's leave that like that one for a minute. Or is it recording?
Yeah, it's recording.
All right.
Oh, we're through.
There we go.
So now we've got the bar in with the slugs in as well.
Yeah.
Now we've just got to weld it.
Yeah.
Thought we'd just show you a bit of a close-up because you probably wouldn't have seen it on the tripod, but essentially this comes through there and that slides this bit into this bar here, and now they're bridged across between that bit and that bit.
And then all we do then is just weld up this hole here.
Yeah, and then we also weld all the way around this bit and all in these bits. Okay, so the bar is all welded in, all sanded up, and now it looks like it's always been there, which is really good. That's what we wanted. Nice and smooth as well. So that bar is now finished.
So I'm probably filthy, am I?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Right, so I've been really cracking on. So I think the last time you saw it is I put that bar in. So that one is fully in, all welded up. Just mocking up these ones now. So that one's all tacked in, that one's tacked in. Next one we're going to attempt is this one here, and then all we've got to do then is put the little diagonals in there, and then that is it finished. Looking quite good, isn't it, Georgina?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we're going to start mocking up this one now, and I'm not going to change all the bottom of it. I'm just going to put it in there, slug it like we've done the rest of it, and then extend it up into here. So since we last updated you, we've got all the bars welded in. Still got to do a little bit of cleaning up for where it's like little bits of weld splatter have dropped down, but all the bars are in. So what we're doing next is mounting the radiator back in. So when we took all the bars out, we took the radiator support out. So we've just mocked it up, and now we're happy with it, aren't we, Georgina, where it is?
Yeah, the fans
so
fit.
we've got enough room to get the fans in the back. All we got to do now is weld this mount on here to hold it in, because all the other mounts are still there. So that the header tank bolts through that bit there. That bit was still on there because there's a mount on the other side on there. So we literally, all we got to do now is weld a plate across here to hold the radiator in. And then the other mount I've got to put in is I've got to mount the water pump over there, because we took the water pump mount off, because where we had to chop that bar out, we had to take the water pump out as well. And then after we've done that, then we can put the engine back in, because we've got to weld another one of them in here to mount all the engine to. And then we've got to weld a tank in the back.
Yeah.
So we've nearly finished with the welding. I can't remember what I've been filming, to tell the truth. So, right, so we've put the engine in, got the exhaust on, we wanted to check the clearance. Also, we've checked the angle of the engine, and we've also checked the coupler to make sure it moves friendly, so we know that the engine's in at the right angle. So, it was on the crane, put a jack under here just to support it so we can adjust it nicely. So now we've got the aluminium motor plate in, we've got all the holes bolted through, so now we're using the water pump as well as the engine mounts there. So this is where the new steering's going to go onto it. So now everything's all clamped up, so now we can weld this bar back in. So this is all clamped to the motor plate. It's all clamped up here at the back, and then we can put all the steadies in afterwards. So now I've got to weld it in. We'll put a couple of big welds on it, and then I can take the engine out and finish welding it, because we've got to take the engine back out again to finish up welding it. And then I can drill, before we take the engine out, I've got to drill the holes. So I've got to take the exhaust off to drill the holes through this motor plate. Truck's now painted.
Yeah.
With an aerosol can, but we don't normally do that. We normally paint it, but we need it to dry fast. So it's been sprayed with an aerosol can. We can always paint it properly later.
Yeah.
Got the engine in, motor plates in.
But we had a problem.
Well, we had a huge problem. If you look down on the floor, look at all the supercharger pulleys and belts and... Right, so the problem we have, so the new power steering pump bracket mounts inside the pulley. So the pump is going to go through here, through into the pulley onto that drive. The problem we had is the pulleys I normally run, that doesn't fit inside it.
No.
So I went up a size in pulley. So if you go up a size in pulley, we're only allowed to be 10% overdriven. And with all the pulleys I've got here,
The one that actually worked.
the one that actually works, I haven't got a belt that's the right length. They're either too short or too long.
Yeah, so the only one we could have used, which is 20% over, which is not allowed.
Yeah. So I did have a combination where we could go 20% over, which is double what we're allowed.
Yeah.
Or we couldn't go underdriven on that.
But luckily the tank came in handy.
Luckily we had the tank here, so we've been through all the tank bits and we've managed to get it.
To what?
But it's got, so we normally run this style of belt.
Which is the sort of smaller ribs.
Smaller ribs,
Yeah,
and it's got more contact patches. So we've gone up onto the large one.
Big one.
This one's gonna make some noise.
Yeah. So
the bigger the teeth on it, the more noise it makes. This thing's gonna scream.
So at the minute we've managed to get it to 1-to-1. So it's not 10% over, it's not under, it's just normal. 1-to-1. Yeah.
But yeah, so we've now got to get all the...
I think, what do you reckon next thing we've got to do? Make the alternator bracket now.
No, I want to get all the exhaust and everything all in, all this part in, start getting the water back in. I've got, because it's going to... So now the alternator's coming off of here, which is still might be a problem. Because looking at that, that's going to hit it.
We keep getting more and more problems, just trying to change something that's in theory simple, but...
Yeah. So what are you doing out here?
I ran away because all the tear gas was making my eyes cry, so I turned it off and ran out the workshop.
So we got it all running now. Did have a couple of problems with it. We didn't film the fuel. We had a fuel leak on it, and the fuel leak was coming out this fuel line there. So that's the fuel line that goes to the bottom injectors, and it was leaking up in here. So I've had to get another hose, which I already had, put a new hose on it. And that's all good. Now, next thing I've got to do now, I've got to mount the hydraulic pump. So we've got the hydraulic tank fitted and the pump, filter pump unit at the front. I've just got to mount the pump on the engine now. The reason I didn't want to mount it on it straight away is I didn't want to try and get the engine running with no oil going through the pump. So now I've got it running and I'm happy with it. Apart from the temperature sensor says it's at 100 degrees and it's not. Even when it was dead cold, it was at, what was it, 80 when it was cold.
We haven't
We hadn't even turned it on. It was said it was at 80. Like now it's been running. I can put my hand on it, and if you, it's a rough thing. If you can touch it, but you don't want to hold it, it's about 60 degrees. If you can hold it, and it's a bit more hotter than a bath, that's about 40. So it's about that in a minute. But it hasn't been running for very long. We haven't got that much fuel in it. Yeah. So now I'm happy with it. I can start mounting all the hydraulic parts for the steering. Okay, so we're at the stage now. So the last time you saw me, I was talking about the fuel line. So now it's got all the protection for the fuel lines with the blower guard belt on. The pump is now mounted. It was an absolute sod to get that in there. I had to make a special spanner to get in there. But we got Mark Hussey from Mark Hussey's Engineering. He's come down and he's doing all the hydraulic lines at the moment. And there's a lot of them. So at the moment we're just draining everything at the front, and we're swapping over from these little ones to the 1/2 inch ones. So we've got to swap all the lines about now. So, worked really late last night. Mark Hussey from Mark Hussey's Engineering came in because I thought I had a filter problem. Turns out we didn't have a filter problem. I plumbed it up wrong. Georgina in the end actually found it online how it works. So it's now I've got it in my head. It makes sense. But so it comes from the hydraulic tank in the back over in the corner there. Doop. Comes down across and it comes into this new big pump under here. So it comes out of this down these big hydraulic lines that goes all the way to the front of the truck. Now this is where it gets a bit complicated. So the hydraulic line, actually the power comes in on this one here, and then just goes straight the way through up into the steering box or the orbital valve.
Yep.
Yeah. Then it comes back down off of there and it comes into here, into the filter. Then it comes out the filter and then back towards the tank at the back. But there's pressure reliefs in there as well, and that's sort of bit.
So this thing didn't come with any instructions when you got it?
No instructions when I got it. But yeah, so we've got it working now, and the steering feels really, really nice. So all we got to do now is I've got the spare engine. So I've got the 540 engine, and that's back from Zane from being repaired. So we got to load that into the trailer, put everything back in the trailer, load Swampthing into the trailer, and then off to Newark. I think that's going to be the end of this video, but come back because we're going to be at Newark and there's bound to something to go wrong.
Suck me in smoke, breathe me in and let me go. Filling the lungs inside you, and the blackened eyes make my way into your mind, just to know what you